Hi guys, Ash here for the Girls and Blues, and as you can see there again, we've done it again. I don't even know where to start. I don't know whether to curse and rant. I don't know whether just get on with it. I don't know. The feelings are kind of really weird. It's now coming on, just gone on. Let's see, 5 o'clock, and in front of me, I'm just directly ahead. For those who are watching this on YouTube. First of all, welcome to the latest edition of the Colours and Blues Supporters Club Ireland podcast, and also on our YouTube channel. As the title says there for those watching, FWTF, it happened again. Get out, Deutsch. And I still say that, get out, Deutsch. Graham Potter, David Moyes, uh, who else? Anyone I can think of. I'll take anyone over this calamity James of a manager that we have now got ourselves stuck with. Two things happened in yesterday's game. As I said, I shall go back to just what I was saying there. As I'm looking at the screen, Wolves are playing Newcastle United, and Wolves are 1-0 up. All the other teams around us that we expect to be struggling with, they've all strengthened. You have the likes of an aging Jamie Vardy. He's still going to score goals and score the one-on-ones that Dominic Calvert-Lewin should have scored yesterday. He fluffed. Just absolute madness of what happened yesterday. Two things happened yesterday. We have made the worst start since 1958. And secondly, we have joined Bournemouth. Another record for Everton, have joined Bournemouth as the only team who have twice in a row let a 2-goal lead slip and lose the game. And in our fashion, we've even made it worse because we've done it both ways in losing 3-2. Just unbelievable. Since that game, I've gone on to the different content creators, and for once, pretty much all of them have said exactly the same thing. Not so much as Dyche out, but the fact they've turned around and said at this point in time, the question has to be asked, is it time? The discussion has to be had. Is it time for him to be gone? And I say, yes, get out, get out, get out. I went to work last night, came home, went to bed, and I switched on the TV just to see how the Newcastle game was getting on. Switched to Sky Sports. You're just waiting for that yellow ticker bar to say he's gone, or to see it on your phone to say that he's gone. But it's not happening. There's no one in the club. He's sitting there happy as Larry because he knows until this takeover happens, nothing's going to happen. And if it is going to happen, he's probably going to hope that it happens before his contract runs out, because then obviously we don't, have to pay him off and blah 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 blah. But what happened yesterday was just the first part is, can you we can the shock that we had at the way that the game went yesterday, because obviously when you look at it, 82% of the possession went to Aston Villa. Now, I know that a high percentage usually goes to the home side, but 82%, that's just nuts. We didn't have the ball at all. And I'm surprised, or I was surprised, when McNeil gets the first goal. You'd say, okay, but you're still expecting the high press that was from Aston Villa, because they were missing chance after chance after chance, that eventually somebody like Ollie Watkins, who was a bit on a barren spell and hadn't scored in the league for a while, that it would happen. Then all of a sudden, Crofts comes in from a free kick from Dwight McNeil, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin makes it 2-0, albeit the VAR tried their best to make it a point that he was offside when he clearly wasn't. After the first replay, you could see he clearly wasn't, and that VAR delay should have been a lot quicker, but that's nothing new with the Premier League. And then at 2-0, you're saying to yourself, this is like, didn't see it coming, never thought it would happen, but deep down in your mind, we all knew. Fair enough, it's a little bit different to the Bournemouth game, because we controlled the game 2-0 up going into the final few minutes. But this is after, half an hour, and you're 2-0 up. You're wondering, could we do the decent thing and hang on? But of course, Everton decided, no, we can't. Things didn't go away, obviously, because of Mikalenko going off, and we thought it was an injury, but I believe he wasn't feeling very well before the game, and it turns out it's more of an illness. So he should be back for Tuesday's game against Southampton, or maybe he will be rested for that game. So, Ashley Young will probably play there, and Patterson will probably play on right back. But we'll go back to that in another time. But once he went off, Ashley Young switches there, and then James Garner put there. And I even said that I thought, okay, we understand that James Garner has complained that position. He played for the in the under 21s England tournament. I think he played the whole tournament in that position. So you're thinking, okay, that can happen there. But the part that really got me, and a lot of people were blaming pretty much Michael Keane on the first goal. And don't get me wrong, he was at fault. He didn't watch Ollie Watkins. There's no way Ollie Watkins should be towering above him to get ahead of him to get the goal. But three things, and two in particular, the one is that this Garner just didn't judge it right for the cross to come in. The other person I blame is Jordan Pickford. And people say, why? Because the ball was so slow coming over the top, and it was only between Pickford, between Ollie Watkins and Michael Keane. All Pickford had to do, because it was the ball, it felt like it was up in the air for so long that all he had to do was turn around and shout to Michael Keane, mine. That's all he had to do, and he comes and class the ball. But he doesn't. And I can't see in the replays that I've seen in the highlights whether Michael Keane shouted something at Jordan Pickford, or did Jordan Pickford say it. But between the two of them, one of them should have gotten rid of that ball. It was just an easy header for Ollie Watkins to make. And then once that goal went in, he just went, oh, bollocks. You knew what was going to happen after that. Then it was a mistake then by Jack Harrison to give the second goal. And then the guy, I was calling him John, but it's I can't think of the Duran was the one that came on, and what a worldly of a goal. No keeper was going to save that. But once you came on, you knew it was going to happen somewhere along the line, and to go 3-2 down. And that, I actually feel really sorry for the fans who went there yesterday, because once we went 1-0 up, the fans were in song. Then we went 2-0 up, the fans were in song. But then once that first goal went in, the decibel levels really dropped, because even the fans knew sitting there at Villa Park that, oh no, here we go again. And now it has happened again. And now the fury is out, Dyche out, get out of the club, move on, get somebody else in. Graham Potter, Davy Moyes. Some people are saying, no, we can't go back to Davy Moyes. But if we don't, we are getting relegated. Other teams have picked up a lot of new players. They're going to be stronger than us. Leicester for next weekend, they're going to put in a bigger fight than we will. Even, I don't know who it was yesterday, was stating that, what has Everton got to do? I think it was actually on the Royal Blue podcast. Do Everton have to get a minimum of 3 or 4 goals per game to ensure we might have a chance of winning the game? For those of you guys that watch those content, if you the Blue Boys Network, John there in the Blue Boys Network, he said, and if somehow we were at 8-0 yesterday, he still wouldn't feel confident. And he's trying to, not to get on a rant and not to use bad language, but what else can we do? This is a very, very worrying time. And then this bull now, and I'm actually, as one person who is looking forward to the new stadium, I'm absolutely sick of it now, for the simple reason is, we can't get ourselves into the next level, new stadium, new beginnings, if we're stuck in the Championship. And don't forget, these players that we currently have are not good enough, or they don't want to be good enough, or they don't give a shit to play for this jersey. They don't care. And what happens is then they know, obviously, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he's in his last 12 months of his contract. By the end of the season, he goes on a free, so money is lost there. Then somebody else will go on free. Like, I know Beto hasn't lit the world on fire, but then if we get relegated, how many of those players have relegation release contracts? A lot of them. A lot of them have. And that's why, yeah, fair enough, Jar Brandway signs his new contract. And the first thing you're turning around and saying to yourself, fair enough. We have him for a number of seasons, and that's all well and good, because the two things that annoys me about those contracts is, one, there's going to be a release clause if anyone is any club is brave enough to turn around and offer that release clause, or two, if the club gets relegated, that they have a different release clause to be able to escape and not have to play in the Championship. And also, can we afford their wages if we're in the Championship? It means our squad, which is bare minimum as it is, we will lose so much more, and we'll be heavily relying on academy to get us through the Championship in a brand new stadium, Branley Murdoch. It's not a nice feeling, guys. I absolutely hate it. I believe, actually, it's just popped up on my phone there. Newcastle have actually come back and they're winning 2-1. Thank God for that. So one of our relegation compatriots is losing their game. But guys, can anyone answer? Do we give Sean Dyche more time? I don't think so. I think he needs to be gone now, and I'd get him gone before Tuesday. Put somebody else in there to steady the ship. And I actually see Southampton beating us on Tuesday. I put my hands up there and say I actually see Southampton will beat us on Tuesday, knock us out of the Carabao Cup. So that's another cup gone out of the question. Some people on one side will say, well, maybe it's a blessing in disguise to get out of the cup because we need to concentrate on relegation. And let's hear ourselves say this. Relegation after 4 games makes no sense whatsoever. And now it's 13 goals scored, conceded in 4 games. And if my calculations are correct, that's almost, if not a quarter of the total number of goals that we conceded in all of last season. Do the maths on that, guys. I really don't know, guys. I'm at a loss, and I'm doing this. Usually, sometimes I take little notes and have notes in front of me and of things I want to say, but I'm just doing this for Batham. And I don't know what I'm really at a loss for words. I don't know how to feel, except, yes, I am angry. I'm angry at Sean Dyche. I'm angry at the players. A different stat came out. I think Michael Keane has played something along the lines of 28, 29 games, and in all the games that he's played, we've only won 5 of them. So he was at fault for the first goal yesterday in conjunction with Pickford. But some people say, well, he hasn't been the worst in the world since he's come back into the side. But is it fully time for Jacob Ryan to come in and take his place? Now, Jacob Ryan did come on and play some minutes yesterday. Some people felt he did well. I didn't think he did at all. In the opening first minutes, he could have easily have given a foul away, because he was using his arm up against, I don't know whether was it Rodgers, and I was surprised the referee didn't give a foul for it. It was outside the box, but I'm surprised he didn't give a foul for it. And actually, talking about fouls, I'm actually surprised that they didn't give a possible foul on Onana when he was messing around with the ball. And it was a nice goal by McNeil. He steals the ball off him, runs into just before the penalty box, and puts a shot into the corner of the goal. And it was a very well taken goal. So I think man of the match yesterday goes, from our point of view, would go to Dwight McNeil, because he did put a shift in, and obviously an assist with the free kick that led to Dominic Calvert-Lewin's well taken goal. But going back to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I don't know whether it would have been offside or not, but I can't remember who put the ball through, but Dominic is put through, and this is where something like, is he a true centre forward of a player? He can be if he wants to, but I don't know what it is. He is one of the worst in world football of when he's going through, when he gets that opportunity one-on-one, because we've seen it last season when he's one-on-one with different with a goalkeeper. It's like his mind goes blank and he hasn't got an idea of where to put the ball. And obviously he delayed, and it's just, instead of putting it past the keeper, the defender gets back and gets a toe in and puts it out past the post. Then there's another one where a bit more harder work for him to do. He gets the other side of the defender, gets around them, and then he lashes it off the crossbar. When all he had to do, he could have lashed it, but kept it low down, either side the keeper, and it could have been 3-3. But I think the big turning point was the first one, because if he gets that goal, it's 3-1, and it could have been a very, very different story. Yeah, the flip side is we could have ended up losing it 4-3. It is Everton for all that. Do I have confidence going into Tuesday's game of the Carabao Cup? Not on your Nelly. I don't have any confidence whatsoever. Should he go with a strong side? Yes, I think he should. Will he do so? I don't. Well, obviously, pretty much all of our players that we have make up our squad, but I think he's going to turn around, use it as an excuse. We need to get ready for the Leicester game. So you're going to see Beto's body going to come in. Be interesting to see if Brantwaite is ready for that game. I don't know whether he will be or not. But maybe Jake O'Brien will come in there. Roman Dixon will probably come in at right back if he doesn't play Patterson. If Mikalenko is back and not ill, obviously he'll drop him anyway and play Ashley Young. So he's still going to play some of his favourites, and we'll probably still have Michael Keane there as well. But then see, Michael Keane could get a winner, and we'll be all singing his praises. That's the whole thing of football. It's just so mad, and only Everton can ruin your weekend, and can make it magical, can make it horrible, can make it unbelievable. So it starts off, we felt that Aston Villa were going to destroy us. Then we go 1-0 up. You go, what? Then we go 2-0 up. I don't believe it. And then by the end of the game, you've already lost 3-2 yet again. And we're just at a loss of how we can get ourselves out of this, because the game's coming up, if I'm correct, we've Leicester. They'll put a fight in. They'll put a shift in. That I could see them beating us. Palace, probably more Palace out of those two games. I think we probably have a better chance, because they have obviously lost a lot of their bigger players over the summer, and they haven't invested too greatly that I'm aware of. And then obviously we have Ipswich Town. But Ipswich Town, they've put in some decent shifts, and it's all about the shirt. It's all about this shirt. And if the players don't give a monkeys about it, they're not going to care. So will we come into the start of October with still no points? And as week goes, and another week goes, and another week goes, and you see just 1 point etching away, 1 point etching away. Crystal Palace get another point. Leicester grab a point from somewhere else. You look at yesterday. I wasn't until well into the evening that I said, "Oh, what was the other results?" And I went on to Sky and seen that Nottingham Forest beat Liverpool at Anfield. Most people would have went to a bookies yesterday and put a money on with their mortgage that Liverpool wouldn't have lost that game. You know, so this the whole thing. These teams are going to put fights in, and if we don't put a fight in, we're gone. Hate to be negative, Ash, but at the present moment in time, there isn't any positives that you can take from it. And I'm not giving a dig out at Indai. He wasn't the most influential player yesterday. It might be just a case of, he did very well against Bournemouth. He was absolutely brilliant about Bournemouth. But if you have a one dynamic sort of way of playing, then all it takes is you have a very, very good coach, you have a very good tactical team at your club that can easily be found out. And obviously, it's up to our own tactical side to be able to use and die a different way. And maybe in the next game, you play him as a number 10 instead of in out on left. Can he play up top, for instance? That could be another thing that can be looked at as well. But I'm not going to turn around and say that we're like Ndai was a one hit wonder, because it's not. It's just we just have to stop this narrative of playing the same way. Because if you look at the way that a lot of clubs will set out and work on a tactic or work on what they're going to do and try to prepare for your opposition. So you have Nottingham Forest yesterday. They must have prepared, tried to play it a certain way, hope they can survive the barraged by Liverpool, and then somehow Callum Hudson-Odoi gets that chance, 1-0, and they play a certain way. But like we look at Leicester coming up on the weekend, they're going to sit down and go, lads, we just have to. We know that if they get 2 goals, they're going to we can easily score against them. They're not going to set up so strong and work their socks off to get ready for our game, because we are the worst team in this division. It's sad to say it, but we are. Sorry, guys, it's just coming on 20 odd minutes. I've ranted on long enough. It's just a shame that the way we capitulated yet again in a different way to lose the same scoreline. The only difference is Bournemouth, very strong, decided to switch off. The other side, we were no way in control of that game. We didn't deserve to be 2-0 up. It was completely against the run of play. But again, we couldn't gel together to say, okay, oh my God, we're 2-0 up. Let's go and consolidate this and be tight. Even Jim Beglin, when we got the second goal, we did push on a little bit, trying to get another goal. And Jim, he's a cop boy. We can't stand the guy, but he made a valid point yesterday that we were going too forward, in the sense that we were doing it too early, instead that we're going to leave ourselves open. And he was right, and we did leave ourselves open. And eventually, if you think about it, that Duran could have got another goal. Obviously, Ollie Watkins could have had 2 other goals as well as the 2 that he got yesterday, because he missed a couple of sitters. There was one that just missed off his toe that he could have slided it into the back of the net. So the scoreline could have been a lot worse than what it actually was yesterday. But the fact of the matter is, guys, we're 4 games in, 13 goals conceded, and no points on the board. It's really scary, guys. Really scary time. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I'll talk to you again in another episode. Till then, try and stay blue, guys. Take care.